Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and I love everything skincare, makeup, and over 40 beauty. I try things so you don't have to. So lately I've seen several influencers talking about how good the Makeup Academy bargain brand from England is. I was tempted to try them myself, and so I ordered them and my package came in yesterday, and so we're gonna go ahead and give them a full try on my face, and I will let you know what I think about this brand. Obviously I'm already wearing it because I'm filming this out of order, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you exactly how it applies, and a lot of them are going to be my first impressions as I am trying things, and I will let you know what things worked and what things did not. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Up first, we have this 15 shade eyeshadow palette called Illusionist. I ordered this because I thought the colors were gorgeous, the shimmers looked really nice, and I'm a sucker for that sort of gray blue kind of palette. I'm gonna start with the lightest base color because I pretty much always do this. And so far, it is not very pigmented, but it's awfully hard to tell, right? It's that base color. Next, I'm gonna go in with just the pink crease color. It's doing okay, not hugely pigmented, but it's also nice that it's not having a lot of fallout either. Okay, let's go straight for the good stuff. This is probably the shiniest silver that is in the palette. It does seem pretty bright. I'm using my finger so that we get maximum shine. And let's see, what do we think? I mean, it's pretty good. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. Normally I would wait to do this until the end, but I really wanted to dip into these. Let's keep going. Okay, this gray blue shimmer is what I was just dying to try. This is very pretty. I'm using my finger again. I want that maximum shine and color, but I'm having a little bit of hard time laying it out. And when I put it on my eyes, it is a much brighter blue than I was hoping for. I'm thinking that this is kind of that Barbie blue, which really not what I was looking for. I was looking for that sort of steely, very sophisticated look. I don't know. Let's see what we can do by using some of the other colors. Also, not thrilled, there is fallout even when I use my fingers because the shimmers are so crumbly. So that's not my favorite. I'm using this brush to try and sort of even things out because I'm getting a little bit of patchiness. Let's try some of these other colors to see if I can deepen this blue and get it to be a little less Barbie blue. I mean, okay, that worked a little bit, yes. Let's go in with this purple. It's sort of a dark, dusty purple. It's also shimmery, but I mean, it is bringing that blue down, but it is also, oh my God, look at that. It is really hard to control. It gets patchy. It goes from not having enough pigment to all of a sudden too much pigment. I am spending a lot of time that I don't usually have to spend using a brush to try and blend out the over excessive amounts of pigment and patchiness. I'm trying to blend this together so that it looks nice, and I'm having trouble. It is very smudgy. It's kind of smushy. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's just keep going. We're going to put in some more colors. Let's try to bring out the shine again and put it in the middle and see if we can get sort of a differentiation from the darker outer corners to, you know, the bright inner part, and see if we can get this all to sort of blend into something that looks less patchy and obnoxious. It's sort of working. I'm going to put a little bit here in the corner. I feel like I am just going back and forth with this palette. It is sort of making me insane. I am not used to having to work this hard with a palette. Now, I do understand that this is a very cheap palette. There were expectations because people said how wonderful these are. I do think that you can get to a really nice look with this, but boy, is it a lot of work. There is a lot of back and forth for me. Now, I will say I have had much worse fallout in other palettes. However, This palette, the shimmers, which is probably what I was the most interested in, there is a ton of fallout even when you put them on your fingers. I am not used to that. That usually fingers means you can really control a lot. Not so much with this one. All right, let's just see if we can use the darkest. Yep, there's some fallout. I'm using the darkest color to try and put down a base for a wing. And again, it's kind of patchy. It's not one nice solid line. So I'm gonna pick this other palette and see if I could bring in a lighter color to the center of my eye. Boy, no, this other palette, I was warned the formula is not great on these other ones, unfortunately, after I already ordered them. And yeah, they look pretty, but they don't really translate to your eyes. I'm just not seeing it. This is just, I'm getting really frustrated. I'm having to work really hard. I'm spending a lot of time. I'm going back and forth between the colors, just trying to get one of my standard looks that should take me, maybe 5 minutes max. And between cleanup and back and forth, I am so frustrated. All right, one last attempt to try and get that shimmer that I was after to really shine in the middle of my eye. It looks like it's gonna be just really shiny, and you've seen me, I keep putting it on, hoping that I'm gonna get that nice big shine right in the middle, and it does okay. Again, this is an under $10 palette, I know, but it was really, really hyped, and maybe it's just my user error, although I don't think so. It's a really hard palette to use, and here I am basically redoing the same dang makeup like 15 times to try and get one of my normal looks that I could get with a probably $6 Catrice or Profusion palette in, less than 5 minutes. So yeah, kind of telling you what I think there. And let's do a little bit of cleanup. Okay, so this is an opportunity to use the Pro Base Full Coverage Concealer in 101 and 102. This is not full coverage, and in this case, this is actually just fine because it allows me to go in when I already had some makeup down and not cause a whole bunch of bunching up and crunchy looking excess makeup under here. These do not have great coverage, but I actually really, really like how smoothly they blend out, and they do just enough coverage. So if you are a light coverage kind of person, you will love these. These are very, very subtle. They don't crease. I mean, they don't have a lot of coverage, but they are very pretty. They're very easy to use, and you can definitely just keep piling them on top of each other. And it's more like an under eye lotion with a little bit of coverage. So I wouldn't say that these are full coverage, which is how they, build themselves, but as a concealer, a certain kind of concealer, I think they're actually quite nice. Okay, so next I wanted to try the Eye Define Soft Tip Felt Liner. It does have this very long felt tip pen kind of end, which I actually really, really like. I think that makes it a lot easier to get a nice fine tip, and also you can kind of lay it right on its side and drag it along, and you get the thickness of line that you want without a whole lot of work. So far this is going on just fine. It's very comfortable. It flows just fine. It's not skipping or anything like that. But what I am noticing already is that the black is not very intense. So I feel like I have to keep going over this line over and over again. I can kind of get there, but when you end up doing that much work, you are more likely to make a mistake, accidentally, put it down just a little bit too hard and end up with a bump or a lump or some sort of thick line that you did not want, and then you're going to have to go clean up. So I much prefer something that is one and done. It's got the intensity and the blackness that you want in the first swipe, so that you don't have to keep going back and upping your chances of making a horrible mess. That said, this does work. It is easy to use. If you like something that is a very light black and you're not looking for that intense black, this is great. This is actually really, really nice. Okay, moving on to their volume mascara. I tried this on earlier today and I absolutely love it, especially with just one coat. It gives you a ton of separation and length and some volume. I will say though, I had trouble building 2 coats with it. Okay, let's go on to brow products. I got these both in blonde. This is the fat liner, which is great for filling in sort of the big overall shape of the brow for me. I usually like to start with a big fat one just because my brows are so sparse to start. So this one's really good for that. The color is really good. It's a nice warm blonde. I felt like it was a little dark yesterday, but I would say from watching the video, actually, it's just fine. It's actually a pretty darn good match for my strawberry blonde hair. The fine pencil performs exactly the same, so there you go. Okay, so here's the final look. Here's kind of what you can expect out of the eyes. You can see that eyeliner. Again, it looks like it has lost some of the pigment.
So what do I think? Well, I think it's really good quality for a budget brand, and especially if you don't end up having to pay, $12 in shipping to get it to you, or you can just go down to your local store and get it. In the $4 to $10 range for most items, these are a really great deal. Some of these are better than others, obviously. This palette that I used on my eyes, I was the most interested because it swatched really, really well. I think in the end I was able to come out with an okay look, but these are really hard to work with. They are really messy. I found that because they are so pigmented and they're so crumbly, they are a little patchy. They kind of go everywhere. They're very hard to control. And the colors, instead of being muted and very classy looking, they are a little more on the cheap and primary side. That's not what I was looking for. I got 2 of their other palettes, this one and this one. I still have to try them, but I can tell you they don't swatch great. They're very, very faint when you swatch them, even though they look pretty, intense in the pans. So what I had heard from Jen Phelps is that these in the plastic packaging, these have the better formula. So yeah, I would say that that's very true. That's certainly what I found. The concealers, I just used it to do a little bit of cleanup. They're fine. I think actually they work really well as cleanup. They are very seamless. They do not have high coverage, so if you need super high thick coverage, I mean, this is not like your Tarte Shape Tape or anything like that. It's very, very faint. However, it does not leave any creasing or lines. It's not dry. This is actually, pretty useful in the way that I used it, which is a little bit of cleanup afterwards where you don't want to cake on and you don't want things to look really, really dry. These are not bad, especially for, I think they're around $4 a piece. So that's pretty good value, just depending on your needs. Eyeliner, I actually found it very easy to use. I like how it's one big felt tip that goes down to a point. It allows you to just lay it on like this, and really helps with drawing, I think. The one issue I have is that it's not a very intense black. So I feel like I have to keep going over the same spot just to get that intense black. Now some of that is because I keep putting down more shimmer, trying to get more shimmer out of that original palette, and it's not happening. So yeah, this one, it's okay. Easy to use. The black is not very, very intense. Probably my favorite thing out of the whole haul, and I'll have to keep trying this, is this volume mascara. I actually put it on earlier, and so when I put it on this time, that second coat was not going on quite as well because I had already let the first coat dry. But the first coat was gorgeous. Lots of length, separation, and volume. I really like this. I'm gonna keep wearing this. I'm a huge fan of this, and I didn't think this was gonna be the thing that I liked the most, because it has an okay applicator, but it's not my absolute favorite kind. I like the big fat applicators that are kind of fluffy on the ends. That's usually good for me. And then finally, really happy with their eyebrow products. Let's see, this one, they're both blonde, which does work for my red hair. It is a warmer blonde, but it is also a little tad bit dark for me. However, I think it works just fine, especially if I'm doing an intense eye look. So definitely I would say strawberry blondes, if you're not like an auburn, but you're more of a blondish red, this one will work for you. It's not too ashy, so it's a little warmer. They're both a little on the dry side, maybe a tad bit waxy, but that also means that they stay put a little bit better. The fine one is great. It allows me to make a little bit more fine strokes, and the spoolies are good on both of them. Overall, do I think it's worth it? No. The simple answer is no. I would not order more of their stuff. I think that there are better cheap palettes out there. Catrice has great palettes for $6 and under that I think outperform these. So overall, this is just a no for me. They are just seriously okay, and I certainly wouldn't pay the shipping and wait for a big package to come in from these guys again. So if you were on the fence, if you were thinking about maybe trying these, hopefully this helps you decide whether you want to go ahead and give them a try or not, since you might be in a place where you have to order them in order to try them out. Let me know if you've tried these before and what your opinions are, if maybe I just picked some of the wrong products to try and there are better ones. Thank you again for joining me. If you like this, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe, as it really helps my channel grow. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks again.